No, you weren't in Alaska. No, no. I'm only talking to people that were at the Alaska Dog Show. Okay. All right. I'll try to work out something for you next time. I mean it. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye bye. This is the Wake Up Call with Will Alexander, brought to you by ProPlan, nutrition that performs. And don't forget to press the like, share, and subscribe button. First, we have Tony Carter. Tony, hey man, how's it going?
Good, buddy.
You all right?
Yeah, doing good.
Oh, good. Things are going well then. You just got back from Alaska.
Yeah, I did. Just got home last night.
Oh, good. How'd it go? How'd the show go?
It went fantastic. It was almost surreal. It was weird. You know, when you're out of it it was for me, I think it was like 4.5 months before I had a last show, and, you know, going to a show, and it was almost like, gosh, are the dogs going to be into it? And every single one of them just acted like they hadn't missed a step. So it was fantastic.
Oh, excellent. And the show went well with the committee and whatnot. And what did they do?
It went great.
Yeah.
It really did. The people put on, they always put a really nice show on up there, and it was run just exactly like they've always done it. They did a really good job. Obviously, the only difference was we all had to wear masks everywhere we went. So yeah, that was about it.
Did they make you social distance and all those things? And
they did. You know, it's kind of hard at times to stay social distance. You know, when you're coming in and out of ring. Yeah, although they did make it different. You know, you came in to the ring normally, and then they had an exit to go out to the other side of the ring.
That's a good idea.
So you weren't bypassing each other, right? Yeah. But I mean, when you're waiting to go into a group, I mean, it's kind of hard not to, you know, be fairly close sometimes to people. But yes, they did a really good job of making sure that we all were socially distanced as best we can, and like I said, wearing our masks, and it all worked out actually quite well.
Excellent. That sounds great. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
And the locals were happy to see everybody. They were good. They weren't worried about you guys bringing things in.
You know, in the travels like you've done over the years, obviously, and like me, we're not just kind of in a one district place. I've gone everywhere. I've been in 46 of the 50 states. I've been all over Europe. I've been, so you get to know a lot of people, and there's a lot of folks up in Alaska, and they're some of the, I don't want to say rare, but some of the rarest, nicest, overall nice people, you know, because when you're kind of secluded in an area like that, they're just nice folks. And it was so much fun to see everybody and just look around, and we were all doing the same thing that we normally were doing every single weekend. Personally, I've been doing for 29 years, and it got taken out from underneath us, you know, here 4 months ago. And it was just great to get on the bike again and just get out there and run around with the dogs. The dogs were thrilled. Yeah, it was just super fun.
Well, that's great, Tony. What's next? Do we have any other shows coming up?
Well, we're hoping Enumclaw out here down in the south end of King County is one of our biggest shows in Washington State. Usually of the year, we have a lot of specialties along with the Albury shows. That's supposed to happen middle of August. We're hoping that it's going to continue. Right now, it's still on, even though we've kind of gone backwards a little bit in the decline, kind of back to a level 1, level 2-ish in our state because of some of the COVID problems. But we're hoping and keeping our fingers crossed that it's going to still happen. But so that's really our next one. We got a lot of specialties, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday specialties, along with the 2 days of all breeds, Saturday, Sunday, and it's usually a big entry for us.
Oh, good. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed that it happens, because we need to get our world back, Tony. So.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking my call. I know you're busy, but I appreciate you taking the time, and it's great to see you.
Will. It's great to see you, man.
Yeah.
Always, and just stay safe.
You too,
Whatever
brother.
you do, stay safe. We're doing the same.
Yeah, we'll catch up to you somewhere, I'm sure.
All right, buddy.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Look forward to it. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Then a person born up in Alaska, Rebecca Cross. Sounds like she had a great show as well. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm awake.
You're awake. You had a great show.
Yes. Oh my God, it was amazing.
Well, you're in Alaska right now. What was the name of the kennel club, just so we know?
Kenai Kennel Club.
Okay, it was all 3 days. Was that kennel club?
Yeah, it was all 3 days. There was 4 shows total.
Okay.
There was 1 show on the first day, 2 on the second, and 1 yesterday.
Okay. All right. Tell me how it went.
It went really, really well. They really came together, the club. I'm from here originally. I'm from Alaska, for those that don't know. I know most of the people, and I had sort of felt it out before I came up. But I think overall the club did an amazing job because I went to Oklahoma City, so there was a few differences in how they did things. But for the most part,
this show was all outdoors, though, right?
it was all outside.
Yeah.
So it was really open. It was probably a little more relaxed than Oklahoma because of that reason. I mean, everybody wore their masks. There were people kind of policing, and making sure that people were abiding by that. So it was good. They had it set up so that basically you couldn't stand right outside the ring. You had to be 25 feet back, and then when it was your turn, you could come up and hang out. No public, of course.
Yeah.
So it was closed. It was just dog show people. But I think it went really well. I don't think anybody was complaining. I think everybody was just happy. They were like, yay!
Yeah,
dog
I'm sure.
show.
What about the ribbons? Were they laid out on the table, or did...
They had it so that the judge would either pull the ribbons out of the sleeve, and you could grab them as you walked out. The groups and the best in show was a little confusing at first, but once we got into a rhythm, everybody kind of knew how to do it. Basically, the judge just told you, your placement. They wrote down your number, and then they would have you exit on the opposite side of where you came in. So they had an in and an out, and you would just grab your ribbons as you left and grab whatever trophies, and there would be a steward on the other end to kind of monitor, make sure everybody got the right ribbons.
Okay.
Best in a little awkward because you're so used to that, that personal being able to take the ribbon from the judge and really thank them, and it kind of reminded me of being at European dog shows because they don't always have trophies and ribbons and all that stuff, and a lot of the times they just point at you and it's okay, bye, see you later. It kind of felt the same way. You didn't have that personal feel to it, but it was okay.
Okay. So it was a positive event all around then. How about pictures? How did pictures go? Like I know in Oklahoma they did pre-pictures.
Yeah, they photoshopped the judges in for Oklahoma, and that was across the board. There was no, well, if you would like the judge to be in it, we can get them. We really didn't have that option there. But here, it was okay. The judges did all the group pictures. If it was like a breed, I guess, or the classes, a lot of people just did it with the, and then, the photographer could just Photoshop the judge later. But they allowed for if the judge was comfortable, if you wanted to take your mask off, you could. I chose to leave my mask on all the time just because we're already under a microscope. We don't want to make this any more of a. We want to be able to have more shows. So my feeling is just do it and suck it up, and you'll live. Wear your mask.
When you were moving your dogs for patterns and go around, did you leave the mask on?
I did, but I have a small dog.
Yeah.
I don't really have to exert a lot of extra energy. They didn't really talk about here. I know in Oklahoma you were allowed to lift your mask up or take it off when you were gating the dog. Yeah. They didn't really voice it here, and I think it was because nobody was really complaining. I mean, I never saw anybody take their mask down to move their dog. Of course, I wasn't watching every single ring, but
there's some people that would have to, though. I would think.
I would think if you're showing a lot of big dogs, it would probably be an option. And I think there was also signs at the ring where basically everything always just said strongly recommended that you wear a mask, and the judge asks that you wear one. And I didn't see anybody really, I didn't see anybody without a mask. I think there was maybe one person that was lurking around the outer edges, but he knew that he wasn't allowed to go past certain points. If you didn't have a mask on, out, you had to stay back. I think it was 25 feet was what they told people.
Oh, good. So it was positive then. All good.
Yes. No, I didn't hear one single negative comment. I really didn't. I think all of the hype and everything, of just all the what ifs and everything, I really think people just carried on as usual. I mean, sure, the masks, it does, hinder, a little bit of your breathing and some of the physical aspects of showing your dog, something that I have figured out over the last couple weeks, because I usually always put the bait in my mouth or I hold it in my mouth. You can't do that with a mask on, so I've kind of had to change my handling a little bit to kind of get around that. But
what were the numbers there? How many dogs did they have there?
I believe the entries were anywhere from like 320 to 330.
Oh, so it
Honestly,
wasn't bad.
They weren't any better or worse than normal. I think last year their entry was like 330 dogs.
Oh,
so
good.
They really had about the same amount.
Excellent. No, that's good. That just
And
gives me an idea of the numbers at the show, people-wise.
Yeah, and it's mostly local entries. I mean, there was some handlers up here, myself and a few others, but there really wasn't that many. I know that Cook Inlet is going to happen in a couple of weeks, and I believe their numbers are up. Okay. I think somebody mentioned they might have gotten 700 or 800 dogs. I'm not sure. And I think more people are coming up for that one. I'm going home.
Yeah. So did you hear any talk about you, and I know Bruce and Tara were there, and I think Tony was there. Was the locals upset that you guys were coming there and contaminating them? Like,
I don't think so, because I've come up here quite a few times.
Yeah, no, I don't mean
granted,
that.
I kind of have a leg up, so to speak, because I'm actually from here. They don't give me a hard time. But I mean, no, not really. I think they kind of expect it, because these guys come up a lot. Maybe not these same particular handlers, but a lot of handlers come up from Washington and California. And honestly, there really wasn't that many. I think there was like a handful of us.
Yeah, what we're finding up here is any indifference we're having to dog shows is the locals saying, we don't want you from Ontario coming over here and bringing anything with you that we're all going to get sick, so that's...
Yeah, no, honestly, I didn't hear anything of that nature. I saw a couple things posted online. They do have they've got their own little Alaska Dog Show group, and there were a couple of people that had mentioned they didn't come because they were, they had certain reservations about things, and, everybody has a choice, and you got to do what's best for you.
Oh, of course. So that's perfect.
Some people had mentioned they were concerned about the cleanliness of hotels, and I can tell you, because I come up here a lot, this is the slowest I have ever seen it up here. Kenai is usually popping this time of year because it's fishing season. You usually can't get room. Everything's booked. I mean, the hotel is empty. There's nobody here. It's just me. There was a couple of other dog people at this hotel. You can see in the background, that's the river. We had a beautiful view.
Beautiful.
It has a lodge. It has a lounge, so you really didn't have to go anywhere. I felt safe. I didn't feel at any point that the rooms were not clean or that the places I went to weren't clean. They're doing what they can here. It's a little lax, I think. There's not as many people wearing masks when you go to stores and stuff, but you just have to do what's good for you.
Oh, for sure, and that's the whole picture, whole idea. I think is we've got the people that don't want to come, that are afraid to come, don't come. But
there was one. I saw one comment on a group where somebody had mentioned that they were nervous about the handlers coming from outside and that they weren't using precautions or that they weren't tested or this, that, and the other. But there was only one, and nobody really said anything. It was kind of one of those comments. I think everybody was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of go over it. You don't say anything.
It basically comes down to the individual looking after themselves, So that's how I feel it.
Like, somebody made a comment on one of my photos that I posted with the Best in Show ribbon, and I had my mask on at all times. And they were like, well, why do you have your mask on? It looks like there's nobody around and you're done. And I'm like, I don't care. It's the perception.
Right.
Right now we have to, especially as handlers and professionals, we are the ones setting the examples here. And we're, we don't need anybody to say, I think I would get more people reacting and saying, why aren't you wearing your mask? Than, oh my gosh, she's wearing a mask. You should be happy.
Let's not give them a reason, right? Okay, perfect. So when do you fly home?
I am here for today. I'm ready to check out. I'm going to drive back to Anchorage. I fly out tomorrow.
Oh, good.
So I have family in Anchorage, so I've got cousins that I haven't seen in a while, so I'm going to try and hook up with them for dinner.
Oh, good. Nice. Well, thank you for taking my call and giving me some time.
I thought you guys would get a kick out of this view. I mean, this view is amazing.
Oh, it's beautiful, yeah.
It's really, and the water is really blue. There are people out there fishing right now, so.
Yeah. Well, it looks beautiful.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm
Have
sure
a
I'll
great
see
day.
you somewhere, I hope.
But hopefully you guys will get back. Are you guys, have they been able to have a show yet?
No,
up
we
there?
haven't had our first show yet. No, that's what I was talking about. We're getting some indifference from people, so
I saw some stuff floating around on Facebook, some of the discussion, and it looks like they tried to have one, but they.
Yep, it was nixed. But that's a different story.
No, I understand. I get it. A whole nother deal.
All right, Rebecca. Well, congratulations on your weekend, and I'll hopefully catch up to you somewhere. Okay.
All right, sounds
Safe
good.
flight
Thanks
home.
a lot. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, thanks, guys. And if you like what we're doing here, again, press the like, share, and subscribe button. And if you need to send me a message or have any ideas for the next episode, contact me at dogshowtips@gmail.com or check out Will's World at willalexander.net. Don't forget to pick up that phone.